Good morning. I'm Steve Highsmith, and welcome to Live at Issue. This morning, Democrat candidate for mayor Tom Knox explains who he is and what he would do. Here is some of who he is: a successful businessman in banking and insurance. Tom Knox is 65. He lives with his wife at Rittenhouse Square. Earlier this year, he stepped down as chief executive officer of United Healthcare of Pennsylvania. From 1992 to 93, he served as a deputy mayor under then Mayor Ed Rendell, and he has also served in the U.S. Navy. For the record, candidate Shaka Fattah had agreed to be here right now, but midweek canceled, citing a scheduling conflict. We both hope to arrange a future discussion. Tom Knox, however, is here. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Steve.
Let's go right to what you said at the end of November when you officially announced that you are running for mayor. Here's what you had to say.
Together we can take the for sale sign down off of City Hall. We can replace it with a new sign. A sign that says, open for business. We need good paying jobs in Philadelphia. We need to get them here.
Two things there. One, take down the for sale sign. You're slamming current Mayor John Street in that, are you not?
Well, I'm slamming the administration more than John Street. I believe that we do need to take the for sale sign down off of City Hall. I believe that this city needs a mayor or needs government that's not interested in making its friends, relatives, or political contributors rich at our city's expense.
But that is slamming John Street. You're a CEO. You know the buck stopped at the top. How can you absolve him in this?
I'm not absolving him. I'm just pointing out the issues. The issue is that we do have a for sale sign on top of City Hall, and it happens every day. It's a very telling story when over 23 months you have more than 40 indictments, people going to jail. Every day you read it in the newspaper, something's going on.
You're a Democrat. What does it say about your party that the things you just described are largely happening on the part of Democrats?
Well, in Philadelphia, everybody's a Democrat. So it's just everybody isn't doing this. It's just a select few people in the city government that are doing it, and we just need to get rid of it.
How would you change it?
Well, you know what? Like you said, it starts at the top, it ends at the top. And a mayor needs to make sure that when he's hiring people, he hires people with integrity, he hires people that have ethics, he hires people that are going to do the right thing, not just some of the time, not just most of the time, but all of the time. We need to get people that are accountable. You need a mayor that can do that.
If people re-elected this mayor, knowing some of the accusations that were out there or concerns that were out there, do you think that the electorate does really care or not care about this issue?
Well, I think the electorate cares. I mean, they care about a lot of things. It's not just pay to play in City Hall. I believe their main issues today are crime, gun violence, safety. I think they're education on multiple fronts. I believe it's economic opportunity and good paying jobs. I believe it's revitalizing our neighborhoods and our avenues, not just the neighborhoods, but our avenues, because that's important. And I believe it's the pay to play. And that's what people are concerned about today, those 5 issues in particular.
When you say the avenues, you mean the main arteries, beautify them? Or what are you talking about?
Well, you know, Philadelphia wants to change. We spent $295 million on NTI, neighborhood initiatives, and it isn't working. Center City, what they did to make it work is they beautified Walnut Street. Then they did Chestnut Street. Then they lit them. They put police protection there. And what happened is people started coming into town. And when people started coming into town, we started building condominiums. And everything flourished. And we got people moving in. We didn't do that in the neighborhoods. We just, we've torn down houses. We've gotten rid of wrecked cars. But what we need to do in order to get people back into these neighborhoods is make the avenues beautiful. We need to make sure that people don't need to put big grates in front of their stores to protect them. We need to make sure there's no graffiti. We need to clean them up. We need to put better lighting. We need to get better police protection. If you do that, people will start coming to the avenues. When people start coming to the avenues, they want to live there. And when they start want to live there, it's not us that's going to have to build these houses. You're going to get developers coming in and building houses and making places beautiful and raising your values.
In that same announcement, as we saw, you opened your arms wide and basically said open for business. Are you saying that you're going to change the environment to make it more business friendly, and how would you do that?
Well,
besides the avenues?
Well, you need to make the city more business friendly because we need good paying jobs for our children. We need to make sure that opportunity is available for every child when he needs it.
But how do you do that? Do you get rid of the business privilege tax forever?
Well, I believe the business privilege tax is a burden. I believe that the gross receipts portion of that business privilege tax eventually has to go. I believe that the net income portion of it has to be lowered.
Lowering all these taxes when you know that Armageddon is supposedly in the years ahead financially for the city of Philadelphia.
Well, I've heard the PICA reports, and I believe them. But I also believe that the city is not being run efficiently today. We have lack of productivity. We have mismanagement. We have corruption in our pay-to-play, and pay-to-play. We have no bid contracts that are out of control. We need to get this under control. When Ed Rendell took over as mayor in '92, we had a $250 million annual budget deficit, much larger cumulative one, on a $2.3 billion budget. In 18 months, we were able to get that budget, get that deficit down to a $10 million profit as opposed to a budget deficit. The same thing is happening today. We have a $3.7 billion budget. I believe there's $400 million that can be taken out of that budget, and that money can be used for all sorts of purposes.
All right, we'll follow up more on that, talk about violence and other issues when Live at Issue comes right back. Stay tuned.
You're watching NBC 10, Live at Issue.
4 men have declared as candidates for next year's Philadelphia mayor's race. Democrat Tom Knox is here with me this morning. Let's take a look at one of the advertisements that you have now, one of your campaign ads. This one is entitled Mothers.
I grew up in Philadelphia's public housing, and there's one sound from my childhood that I'll never forget. The sound of my mother crying herself to sleep at night because she didn't have enough to feed my brothers and me. I'm running for mayor for my mother and for every mother in Philadelphia, to fight every day for you, your family, and your children's future, to fix a broken city government and make it work for all of us.
Tom Knox, Democrat, for mayor for Philadelphia.
You're saying you saw your mother cry for that reason.
Yes.
Right. What did that do to you?
It used to break my heart. It did. I mean, I can never forget it. My mother worked hard every day of her life. And that's why she died at age 51, because every day she was working hard. I remember her going at night. She'd leave the house at 3:30 so she could go to the knitting mill, making $2 an hour, and come home at midnight. She had to get up at 7 o'clock and, had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so my father could get fed his breakfast and off to work. He had 7 o'clock. And then she had to come make sure that we got fed and off to school. And then she did the housework.
And you say you haven't forgotten that.
And I have not forgotten
that. You've lived that.
I'll never forget.
Well, let's the mayor's race. We'll be right back.
You're watching NBC 10, Live at Issue.
Tom Knox, Democratic candidate for Philadelphia mayor, is my guest. Again, thank you for being here. When you look at your wealth today, and you've pledged supposedly to spend $4 or $5 million of your own money in this race, correct?
Correct.
Are you in this through May no matter what happens?
Absolutely.
Even if Bob Brady gets in?
Even if Bob Brady gets in, I'm committed to be in this race into the end. And it's not $4 or $5 million. I've actually committed a lot more than that.
How much?
I'm going to put in enough money to win this race, regardless of how much it costs.
And how do you do that with that money? Is it buying a lot of TV commercials?
Well, it's buying TV commercials, it's buying radio, it's buying direct mail, print, and it's money on the ground to make sure that the vote gets out, and the vote gets out for me.
All right. This is a black-white town. Since Wilson Goode, you see big racial divisions since the first strong African-American candidate and won the mayor's race. This town, whites vote for whites, blacks vote for blacks. I mean, there are exceptions, of course. But it seems to be that way, and politicians seem to continue pushing those buttons that encourage us to do that. What makes you different?
Well, first off, I think people vote for people. And if you have a good message...
It's not the way it's played out. And you know, behind the scenes, there are people who break this down and say, well, the black candidate's going to get this and the white candidate's going to get that. What makes you different? Have you ever had those discussions?
I really don't.
Okay.
It's not black and white. It's people. It's doing the right thing. I don't care if you're black or white. If you're not a good person, people aren't going to vote for you. If you have a good message, people will vote for you. And I believe that if you go into the African-American community and deliver them a good message, they will. They voted for Rendell. Swan was running. They voted for Rendell. Go down to Baltimore. Martin O'Malley had a great message, and they voted for him. I believe that people do the right thing when they have a choice. If they don't have a choice, they'll follow racial law.
Just have a few seconds left. If Ed Rendell was America's mayor, if John Street was the neighborhood mayor, what is Mayor Tom Knox?
I'm going to be Philadelphia's mayor. I'm going to be mayor for the city of Philadelphia. I'm going to make sure that everybody in Philadelphia has good economic opportunity and that their kids have the opportunity to succeed.
Tom Knox, thank you very much. Again, thanks for being here. Good luck in the campaign, and you're invited back on the program in the months ahead.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Steve.